Good evening, ladies. Didn't think you would see me here, did you? I'm going to give you my mid-season power rankings. It's only week 6 of 13, but it seems like the appropriate time for me just because I feel like doing it now. Okay? So, I will rank you from 10 to 1, and it's not necessarily based on the standings. It's power rankings based on who I like the most personally as an individual. So, without further ado, and I will also give you my predictions for what they're going to do in their last 7 games. I'll give you like a record prediction and maybe a slight description why, but don't expect that for everybody. Okay, number 10 in last place, it's going to have to go to Mr. Johnny Vassell. He has put together a 2-4 record, I believe. 2-game win streak. He's getting hot, but he lost his first 4. The reason he got last is because he didn't score a lot of points compared to the person's 1-4-1. So he gets last. My predictions for Johnny for the second half, he's going to get a little bit more health out of his running backs, and I think we can expect a 4-3 record in the second half for Johnny. But it's not going to be enough to get him into the playoffs with a total record of 6-7. Okay, in 9th place, Neil at 3-3. His record does not properly go with his points for and against because he's scored the least points in the league and has given up the least points in the league. So for that, despite a 3-3 record, which is based probably mostly on luck, so he takes 9th. Okay, 8th place is Dave with a record of 1-4-1. The tie takes you a long way. You have a lot of. He's second in the league in points again, so that's to his benefit in this situation. And so yeah, he takes 8th place. And I didn't give Neil a prediction. Neil's prediction for the rest of the year, I think he will go 2-5. Sorry, it's going to catch up to you, the lack of points for and against. And Dave, from now on, I think Dave has a strong team, and it's finally going to put itself together. I think he reels off a 5-2 record and becomes a potential playoff contender by the end of the season. So keep on looking forward to that, Dave. Right now you suck. 7th place is our reigning champion, Michael Smertz. He has a record of 2-4, quite embarrassing if you ask me. But he has faced some adversity, giving up 628 points, which is a lot. Hasn't scored a ton, but he's in the middle for points for. So that's enough to earn him 7th place on my power rankings list, my official list. The rest of this season on, Smertz's roster, Matthew Stafford has to get better. I can't see him sucking that bad. So I'm going to give Smertz a record of 4-3 for the rest of the year, just because of the adversity he's faced, and I think that it's a little bit of karma for the last year for beating me. Perhaps it's commissioner powers, perhaps not. That's for the viewer to decide. I just combine the word viewer and user. That's what you can consider yourself, because you're a user in fantasy football, but you're a viewer of this video. So user it is. 6th place, Senor Roba. It's been a surprise this year. He's at 3-3. 3-3. He has scored 523 and given up 518. So he hasn't given up a ton, hasn't scored a ton, but it's worked out in his favor for the most part. And he beat me, which is huge props because I'm a tough person to beat, honestly. So he gets 6th. From this point on, I think Jeff's team's going to slide a little bit. I see him going 2-5 the rest of the way. Sorry. Next is Jerry, another surprising middle-of-the-pack performer. Jerry is at 3-3 as well, I think. I think there's a bunch of teams at 3-3. But Jerry has 592 points against, which is like 3rd most, so that hurts. And 561-4, which is a little bit... No, it's towards the upper end. So yeah. So Jerry is number 5. And for the rest of the year, Jerry will go 4-3. I'll give him... 4-3. That's about right. And that'll put him in playoff contention. I don't really know what it's actually going to mean, but that'll put him in playoff contention. 4th place, yours truly. It's a little disappointing for me. I should have cheated a little more. But you take what you can get. I have to pretend like I'm not going to cheat for half the year and then the second half turn it on. I mean, right now my team's 3-3. I have a differential of 568 points for and 564 against. So pretty much in the middle of the pack for both of them. I think I'm 4th place in points for and points against. There's room to turn around. I think Cam Newton's going to break out of his slump and carry this team to a 6-1 record in the second half. Okay, I'm going to take over this league and contend for the first overall position. Mark my words right now. It's not a bold prediction. I would say it is, but it's really not. It's what's expected, and if it doesn't happen, I will cheat. Okay, 3rd place. He got off to an 0-2 start, and I thought this was going to be like every other year, where he starts off, exactly the opposite of every other year, just like I predicted, where he starts off usually really well, and then sucks the rest of the year. This time, my 3rd place person, Zach Klein, started off the year terribly, and now he's on a 4-game win streak. Well, not so fast, my friend. Klein is in 3rd place for now, and he's scoring a pretty good amount of points. But he's middle of the road, giving up. I'm going to give Klein a 5-2 record the rest of the way. I shouldn't have said not so fast, my friend, because I think he'll actually, Arian Foster, single-handedly will carry that team to the promised land. I think Klein's probably going to end up being a playoff team. Is it a mistake for me saying that? Yeah, probably, because I'm just going to be wrong, but we'll see. 2nd place, as much as I want to give 1st place for the massive amount of points for, I'm going to give 2nd place to Assad. His team is outstanding in the points for department. He's faced a little bit of bad luck. I dropped 119 on him, no big deal. Actually, never mind. Now that I look at it, he's like 2nd least in points against. So he's must have had like 3 weeks where he just had huge differentials in the 3 weeks he won and 3 huge differentials in the other weeks. But points for through the roof, and there's nothing you can say against his team. He's been performing strong on a weekly basis, except for this week when he put up like 60 something. But that happens. It was bound to happen. So I will predict Assad to go 5-2 the rest of the way and definitely be a playoff contender. Everybody in his team is top 10 PRK except for Calvin, which has to change. I think he's too huge. So that brings us to our number 1 of the power rankings. It pains me to say this. It's kind of by default and kind of by the fact that he was threatening to cut off my penis if I said he promised to not only cut it off but do terrible things with it. And I just couldn't risk that. So 1st place for now is Zach Moreno at a record of 5-0-1, which is an embarrassment.
Okay.
An embarrassment.
Okay. Somebody else
that it's a tie.
Blemish.
And I think that the tie should go to the home team, which I'm going to have to assume was Dave. So technically we're going to give it a 5-1 record. I haven't changed the scoring yet, but it will happen before the end of the year. He's still unbeaten, technically speaking, but a tie is like kissing your sister, and she's not good looking. She's really ugly, and he kissed her. That's gross. So the rest of the way, Zach's going to face some trouble with the bye weeks and some injuries. He's faced some injuries and some bye week troubles. Without Tom Brady, without AJ Green, those 2 weeks are going to be brutal. I think he's going to round out the season at a respectable 4-3, and his first half will be just enough to eke him into the playoffs at the end of the season at 9-5-1. No, that's way too many games. 9-2, 9-3-1, 9-3-1, 9-3-1. So that leaves my playoff predictions at something like Moreno, Klein, Assad, and me. All right. Well, that was a given. That was a given. Okay, so that's my midway through the season, halfway through the season power rankings. What are your rankings? You tell me, because I'm not the only one that knows. Don't tell me, because I'm not going to listen to you, because what I say is probably right. Once again, you can find me on Twitter, at Kyle Yan, on Instagram, I think it's at Kyle Yan as well. Facebook, my name is Kyle Yan, so go to that. You can find me by pigeon mail at University of Scranton. My school email is undisclosed, because there's private information on there. You can find me on Tumblr, but you can't find me on Tumblr. I don't have a Tumblr. You can find me on MySpace. You can find me on MySpace still. My name is, it's myspace.com/xxpoopster. That's a fact. You can look that up. That's true. Okay, well, that about wraps up our video for this week. And, enjoy your fantasy football season. You can expect maybe another Power Rankings video, but that's about it. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.